There's nothing like starting a brand new city on a beautiful clean map and just enjoying that fresh new city smell. I've been playing around with some new builds on a variety of maps and I thought, why not? I'd love to bring you along for the ride too. The map we're using for this build is Cascade Fjord by Bank of America. It really caught my eye as it just has these wide open waterways, fjords, islands and bays and a huge amount of building space, and it just looks gorgeous to me. This will be a modded build. I'll link below to my mod list, and also on my Discord I'll provide the Sky profile if you would like that instead. And the aim of this series is just to have fun, play the game, pass on to you many tips and tricks along the way, and yes, I'm sure there will be lots of traffic fixing tips. Plus, I want to implement your feedback as well, so don't be shy. I also personally want the freedom to use any and all quality assets that I choose from PDX Mods, so expect themed areas, lots of mixing and matching to make our own very unique city build. Fret not, Kettlewick and City Fixes series won't be going anywhere, so look out for those too. If you're looking forward to today's video, then grab a cup of tea, sit back and relax as we dive into... well, it hasn't got a name at the moment, so maybe after watching you can come back and leave a comment with some cool name ideas and I'll pick the top 3 for a vote. And here we are at the starting area. So let's just take a look around and see what we have available to us. We've got some lovely coves and bays that we can build on. Of course, we've got this inactive volcano at the back as well, which we've got to keep an eye on, but we're certainly going to get some beautiful builds around here and just absolutely plenty of space, which is just what I want for a build like this. And if we zoom into here, we have in our starting tile access to the rail. Now, I do have the historical start mods in the mod list, but I'm decided not to start with a train. We're going to use the road access to get into here. Let's just take a look at the natural resources that we have available to us. Lots of natural resources. So yeah, we might be removing some of those as we go because, yeah, lots of fish, which is good. Ore deposits, oil, land fertility, and wood. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. That's not as bad. I saw the dark colour and thought that was oil absolutely everywhere. I think what we've got is, yeah, a few little spots of oil, and underneath or near the... Have we got any ore? Oh, not much ore at all. We've got some up in the mountains. Okay, well, that will make things interesting. Let's see which way our wind direction is going, because that's going to help us decide where to put our industry. And it's blowing this way. I'm going to call this side always north with the mountains at the top here. So it's blowing northwest over in this direction. So that actually works out not too bad, because this sort of bay in here is protected from the open sea in the south. And any industry here is going to blow this way. That is going to make this island possibly a problem, but we might have to cross that bridge when we come to it, when we're first starting off in this area here. So why don't we start off by setting out our main road through, which is coming off the highway. What's the name of this highway? We've got 2 highways here, Broad Highway and Autumn Highway, which is coming off of this big main highway that goes in and out of the map. And what I like about this as well is any cars coming in here don't have to go through our new city to get to the other side of the map. So not until we start building up here should we have those sort of traffic problems. Right, let's start right here. So I am going to pick a picker, this 2-lane one-way highway, which we've got, and we're going to set that to parallel mode, and I believe that needs to be a bit closer. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to use this as our sort of backbone for what we're building here, and I'm going to follow the line of these trees. There we go. We'll bring that right up to the corner there, and then I'm just going to pick a picker this again. This isn't actually available to me yet in the game, but using the picker mod, you can bypass that a bit, and just until we bring that outside the square, we'll at least give them an area to turn around. Now, one of the things I'd like to use to help to very quickly start building out this city along here is a fantastic new option in Network Tools by Luca, and we're going to go down here to Generate Tool. And we can now generate grids like this, which is absolutely brilliant. So as you can see, we've got lots of options here. We can change which road we're going to use. So let's just pick that as our last road. Then we go to generate. And when we go into here, it will show our recently used road, which is going to be our 2-lane road. which will be our standard road for the start of the city. And then you can change the columns. There we go. Or you can change the rows as well, which is absolutely brilliant. We're not going to be gridding out quite this large, but you get the idea. And then you've got the space that you can set between the rows and the columns as well. So you can get this set however you want it. Let's just drop this down and I'll just show you how it works, and then we'll work out what we're going to do. So let's say we wanted to place this. We'd put it down, and then you've got an option to change it around. Now this might be adjusted as time goes on, but this is how the mod is set up at the moment. And then when that's done, you click generate and it will place it there. I'm trying to save money, so I'm not going to do that. Right click puts it back in your hand again so you can move it around. So what sort of size grid are we going to put in here? And we're also going to build right along the coast as well. And then if we have another grid up here, we'll have to join them to this couplet that's going through, and we're going to have some roads going through to our industry area. So let's see what we can come up with. Okay, this is the size of the grid that we're going to go with. It's going to allow us to zone some nice sized houses and have a little alley that runs through the middle as well. So let me just set up what we need over here. Okay, so I'm going 8 columns, 4 rows. I want to get this as square as possible, and I want to leave a little bit of space before our couplet. So I'm going to left click and do that, and I'm going to just sort of eyeball it. And to be honest, that looks pretty good to me, with maybe a slight tweak. Hopefully I can tweak it just a little bit without it jumping around. What you can also do is hold shift and just sort of move it like that, although that does still jump. Yeah, a little bit too much, but I think we're almost there. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's this road that isn't necessarily straight. I'm just going by the line, but it's all arbitrary anyway. So we're going to generate that road for us. There we go. Excellent. And then what we can do is use the grid tool just to fill this out a little bit as well. So let me just do that. And what you'll notice is, if we just go, I don't want so many down here. Let's just make that as small as possible. So 2 by 2. So we want to double that to, nope, wrong one. Want to double that to 4 to get that in there, so we can fit one more in there. And as you're hovering over, it does snap a very small amount. I've mentioned to Luca, we could do a better sort of snapping tool, but as it stands, if you're very careful, you can get your grids lined up. So let me just fill in some more of this. And then my idea is to have this road that's going up through here. Let's close that down to be a larger medium road. So you can see I haven't quite got the grid right. I will sort that out in a moment. So I'm going to use one of these 4-lane roads. We're going to use the denser trees. That's a mod as well. That's also on my mod list. And we're going to upgrade these, but I'm going to go out like this as I upgrade them. So it keeps the structure of the grids that we've got this side. There we go, and yeah, we can then snap another grid on this side. Let me just sort these out. There we go, excellent. And this is going to join into a key wall that we're going to have along here. Let me just snap another grid onto the size of this. Actually, before we do that, we're going to take our denser tree road and we are going to bring that straight through here. And we'll do some work on these. Oh, okay. Excellent. Because I've got Anarchy on, it's decided to give me a bridge. I don't want a bridge, thank you very much. I want to go straight through this road like so, because we are going to have a nice big super node in the middle of there, which we can come back and do some details on. It's actually down here. Node controller. There we go. So let's grab network tools. We've got super node. We're going to grab that node, and that is exactly what we're going to do. And as I said, we'll come back and work a bit on there. There we go. I think that's the end of the grid in this orientation. And that was also an autosave, so have a quick sip of tea. So as we move along here, we're going to reorient the grid so it's facing towards the key walls that we're going to have here, and then it's going to reorient again, possibly facing this road, and then we'll have to join them up. But for now, let's just go with what we have. So we want to make sure that they've got electricity. Now we do have the ability to bring electricity in from the outside. That is just going to be super, super expensive. So what I'm thinking I might do is spend 25,000 on a wind turbine and see if we can get as near as possible to the full amount. So I reckon somewhere on this hill we could get the 6. Ooh, we're getting like 5.72. Yeah, I think that's probably... 5.81, 5.83 I saw there. I saw a 5.89. I want 5.89. There it is. I think that is the closest that we are going to get. So let's hook this one up as well. And for now, we'll just go straight into there, but we'll be adjusting the roads and things at a later date. For our water, what I would like is as you come into this area down here, to be able to see one of these huge water towers. It's 70,000 and a huge upkeep. So it might just be that we go for something a little bit smaller just for now, which I think fits with the sort of smaller town vibe that we're going to have here. And I'm just going to pop that a little bit further out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is going to go smack bang in the middle there. And that is going to connect up to there. Excellent. And then for our sewerage, at the moment, we only have our water treatment plant. We don't have a water treatment plant unlocked, so it's going to be a sewage outlet. Maybe we could do that over here somewhere. Ooh, we really want to... Yeah, I don't think we're going to have much sewage to start off with. So we're just going to pop that one there and then get that hooked up as well. So initially I wanted this to be 11 wide. I made a mistake in my calculation. So what we're going to do is the alley, we're going to snap that into the middle of 2 of these instead of on 1 of these. So we can have a 4 and a 4 length house, and then we'll have an alley with space for some trees and things and some decoration too. There we go, and I'd like to also remove some of the zoning that we've got on various roads. So this main road here is not going to have any zoning on it at all on either side, so I'm going to remove that. We're also going to remove the zoning on the side of any of these cross streets that are going through. So all the zoning is going to face these roads instead of these roads. And I'm also going to remove any zoning at all from all of the alleys that go through the middle. Now, it would be great if this vanilla tool had the option to place rows without zoning on in the first place. But as it is, I've just got to go through and do all of these. Now, what that does mean, with the space for the houses being only 4 deep in these lots, instead of... what I initially wanted was 5 deep. It just means they're smaller houses, which means they're going to be cheaper to live in, which is actually going to help our citizens anyway. So we're still going to get the same look that I was going for, but yeah, it'll be cheaper, and hopefully that's going to help our city grow very quickly at the beginning. There we go. So we've got those. Got one more to pop into here. Let's pick the road. That'll be good. The alley. Excellent. And we're going to drop that down there. So hopefully I've not missed anything there. That should be good. Before we get people moving in, I would like to remove some traffic lights. And we don't actually technically have options for that yet, but here we go. So traffic lights going to stay on there, but all of these traffic lights can go down here. We definitely don't need all of those. We are going to have a larger road that crosses through the middle and heads out this way, but we'll work on that one when we get to it. But as it stands, that should be fine, and we can start zoning. We definitely have a need for it. So we're going to start off with the low density housing from North America. And what I quite like about this is if we just fill in a couple of these zones, and we'll unpause the game as well. There we go. That as they fill in, we're going to get some different types of buildings. There we go. But they're all going to fit together and look absolutely fantastic. And what I quite like about these is when you do zone in your houses, there we go, we'll just do a couple of 3 blocks like that, you're going to get all sorts of different width buildings, but they are all going to work together and look absolutely fantastic. So we'll let those grow in, and then I would actually like a little area that is going to be some shops, and I'm thinking of just using this little area down here. So what that might mean is, let's just have a think about this for a moment. We could just zone these straight as commercial. So let's go for, yeah, we'll go for North American. So they're going to be off of this road, like so. But then I was thinking of changing these roads up to be some parking roads. And what we can do is we can pop that right in the middle, like so. Ooh, almost. I'm going to turn off my snapping, and I should be able to line those up perfectly like that. And then this road through the middle, do we have access to the pedestrian street just yet? We've got the 1U pedestrian street. Well, it might be, but we've got this custom pedestrian street, which I'm going to use instead. And I'm just looking at some of the models here. We're getting a bit of repetition, so I think we're going to just sort of pause that and pick some of these and pop these in. Nope, that's too wide. There we go, and I don't mind the additional parking there, as well as the parking around the outside. I think that will fit in fine. So I think what we're going to do here is continue zoning in following the needs that we have down there, and that is a good way to get things bubbling along. So we need to get some industry, and that is going to be up over in this direction. So this road here is going to continue out. We'll actually use the picker again. That doesn't look... probably that is square. It's the fact that this goes through here at a different angle, so that's fine. Are we going to just cut through the railway line? I think we will for now, and then we'll see whether we change that a bit later on. I do want to put the topography lines on so we can see that, so let's just pop that in. There we go. And then we've got a little bit of a hill that's going up here, so we might just keep this one going straight up and over the hill. Actually, where would that end up? Yeah, so we'd have another connection that runs the other side here. And then what could we fit into this area? Well, we are going to have some more grids down here when we get there, but I'd like another road that goes through like this. And that's probably the way that the grid is going to come off of this one. So we actually run that at 90 degrees. Then that will give us a good idea. And then we could continue that on up this way. Yeah, and then we could curve that one round. Oh, and we've unlocked our first milestone. Excellent. Tiny village. So what do we get? We get loans. Really going to try and avoid that. Budget and taxation. We've got medium density housing of all sorts of different things. We've got some extra farming options. And I've got the no extractor spawning farming options as well. We've got lots of different roads and bridges. Healthcare and garbage management. So we have to take note of those as we're going along. Let's just connect this road up to here. There we go, and it gives us a little bit of layout that we can work with there. So let's have a look at the fertility that we've got in here. So we've got lots of trees in here. Now that's worth noting, if we just pop into this menu, that our production, our trees production and our concrete production, our stone down here that gets turned into concrete, are the two things that people need to upgrade their houses. So even though we've got a big shortage of grain for making food and for fish, forestry is one of those things that I'd like to get sorted first of all. This is telling us that we've actually got forestry industry giving us 4.88 tons. I'm not quite sure where that forestry industry is, but I know that we're going to have a bit of shortage of that, so we're definitely going to add a forestry industry off of this road here. And the fact that we have our train line that runs through here as well is going to really help this industrial area. So I think what we'll do is we'll leave this space down here, and I'm going to just sort of follow the topography that we've got here a little bit. That's going to be the road for getting out, and we'll just grab one of these for now, and we'll just wind this round this little line that we've got here, and more or less sort of keep it, yeah, at the same level. I think that will work well. There we go. Let's go with that for now. And that will start providing some jobs. And then we can also just zone in some basic industrial manufacturing along here to help with these items. So I don't want too many large buildings. And at some point we probably will come back and just change this around a little bit. But let's zone these in for now. And then they'll fill up with whatever industry is needed for what we've got going at the moment. Excellent, there we go. So our new need is medium density housing, and I really wanted medium density housing to be along the coast here, but at the minute, I'm just wondering whether we could just go for something a little bit different and get some row houses in. Yeah, change of mind, we are going to have this key coming along here, and this is the wide key with 4-lane road. So let's just try and keep this working as well as possible and keep it to as close to 0 as we can. There we go, and with that we can also connect this up as well. So this is going to give more access. And what I really like is on the end of these, do we have a roundabout with a tree? We can take one of those, which is going to give us the larger tree. Yeah, probably just that one would do fine. And then we'll attach this road. There we go, also onto there as well. Excellent. I know there's some traffic lights and things that we can remove from there. And we are going to have a road that connects all of these grids up together once we do them. At the minute, we don't have the money for it, so that's fine. And then along here, it's got like a real sort of slope down, which is a bit of a shame. But I just want to zone some medium density stuff along here. And I really like the Dutch style row housing, which we could have all along the front. And if we need to... Let's go 3 deep. And if we need to sort of terraform this a little bit, we can do that as well. Let's pop some in and see what that does for our demand. Yeah, that's going to completely plummet through the floor. Excellent. Yeah, and these are going to be complaining because lack of high-skilled labour. Because what have we got school-wise? Let's... Oh, we've not unlocked education yet. Well, you can't be complaining about a lack of education when we haven't got any education, so... Yeah, I'm a bit concerned why we don't have any more low-density houses in here, because I've zoned them in, and it's like no demand, and they're not appearing. Well, why don't we place some of the items that we have unlocked and hopefully try and encourage more to move in. We're going to go for a modern medical clinic, which is not too large, and I think we're going to have a little section over here, which is going to house most of our services like this. In fact, yeah, I think this one's going to come out to be a bit more commercial. So maybe we'll go for this one up here. So let's take that out. And if we could just pop that in the corner, and that would be great. There we go. And we could do a little bit of work on that. We also need to add in some sort of cemetery, which... sorry, beg your pardon, under the wrong one. Some sort of cemetery over here. We have a small cemetery, or the Netherlands one, which is a lot larger. And we could have that. I'm actually thinking we're going to have that over here when we get to filling in this area. Okay, well, I've got absolutely no idea why that was a problem. I've just like moved my tax rates down to minus 10%, and suddenly people want to move in, which is, we can't survive on that. So I'm going to put it back to 11% like everybody else and hope that still carries on, that we're going to get some more people moving in, which we are. That was extremely weird. I don't know. But now we've got people moving in and filling up the houses. We should be able to keep this going and just following the demand that we've got. Yeah, people are moving in. Okay, excellent. And that should now start filling in these jobs, which is good. And we'll start heading up towards Tiny Village, the next one after Tiny Village. Ah, small village. That was extremely strange. Yeah, look. And we can see all the nice little houses that we're getting here that just look perfectly suited for an area like this. Oh, we got so much demand. So many. I can't believe it took me so long to spot people moving in. But now they are, which is great. So while that's happening, I'm just going to try and sort this out again and hope that that wasn't the problem. I don't see why it would be, but we're going to supernode both of those. Thank you very much. There we go. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Excellent. Very good. How are we doing down here? Yep. I know I zoned it wrong, but that's filling in nicely now. So, yeah, as we're working our way around here with these houses, we want to start getting our secondary grid in as well so we can match those up. And I really like the way that these look along the beach here, which I just think, what a fantastic view to have. We're going to add some trees and things, but look at that. Absolutely brilliant. And the view out to sea, amazing. We're obviously unlocking some buildings here. The antique store. We'll take a look at our unique buildings in a moment. So let's get our next grid worked out on here and then connecting the two up together. Oh, and we've just hit small village. We'll take a look at that in a second. Oh, look at that. People are moving in. We're making money. That is what we want to see. Let's pop our first grid in here. I'm just going to move it back a little bit so we've got a bit of distance from the road. I think that will be okay. We'll generate that one. think that's going to be too big. Let's go with a 5. And I think if we do that, we could fit that in nicely. We're going to get some interesting parcel shapes there, which is okay. I'm just going to slightly change the angle on that, because I'm looking at the 2 connections we're going to have at either side and thinking how that's going to look. And I don't mind having the larger shapes, the larger parcels. I think, you know, yeah, I was hoping we'd get another one, but no, we'll go with that. Let's just pop that in the middle here and connect all this up. There we go. That adds a little bit of interest to the grid as well. We'll do the same down here. There we go. Excellent. Now we are going to need a connecting road through here, and I think it is going to be this one, which is going to slim down the size of the lots that are available through here. So we'll just work with that as we go through. I'm going to take this 4-lane road with denser trees again, and we can then, when we finally do get our trees on there, that'll be good. But I'm going to pop that right in the middle of that one. And yes, like we said, it's going to slightly change the zoning, but we're going to come back and do a little bit of work with the zoning anyway. And then that's going to bring us all the way through, whoops, here. There we go. And connect it up back to the collector over here again. There we go. Excellent. We may... I don't think we're going to make that one big node, but now you can go up, you can go along, you can go through. We've got all sorts of things going on for our traffic. Yeah. And then of course what would be good is another connection here somewhere that's in between these two to get onto the key. So I'm just thinking this little road here, just a standard 2-lane road, will be fine. We can bring that through to there. There we go. Excellent. And we're just going to pop another little roundabout on. Is that too steep, or is that okay? I think that will be okay. And then, of course, we need to remove all the traffic lights, apart from the one that's on the end. I don't even think we need one there on that cross street as well. That'll be fine. And then where it crosses over and joins with this big road, I mean, I'm going to leave it without and see how we go. And then that might even be extended further on later through here. In fact, I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're going to do that now. And then if the houses need to grow in and be a different size, that's fine, and we can deal with that. There we go, and that's just to remind us what's going to happen. And I probably had Anarchy on, so the houses are probably actually okay. So what we could do is just connect all these together with Move It and Shiftify them back a tiny bit. There we go. I think that works okay. Excellent. Oh, we've got so many homes in here. Very good, very good. And we've got plenty of needs as well, which is what I want to see. Very good. So, what is next on our list? Okay, so I'm going to keep zoning while we're working on what we're going to do. And the next thing is schools, actually. Let's just take a look at our schools. Now that we've hit over 1,000 population, people still moving in. What need do we have? So we've got 95, 377 colleges and universities. We're not quite there yet. So let's take a look what we've got. Now, I did get some from a pack. Oh, here we go. The Nova Elementary School, which had a very, very nice design. Let's just pop it up against here. Yeah, I like that. It's got like a lifted front. That can actually... Workplace is 45. Student capacity 240. So that would be great. So we could maybe use this little odd-shaped zone here for our schools. So I'm going to pop that one here. Let's pop it up against the corner there. So it's got access to the main road. Let's just have a look at that. That is looking very, very nice. I'm liking that. Do we have some information in here? It's the Nova Elementary School. There we go. And that was by Patrickett. There we go. I was looking for the name. So let's get a high school in as well. And I believe you've got the Atlas High School. Yep, that is made by you as well, which has, let's have a look, 190 student capacity. So upkeep not too bad, but I just like the design of these two buildings. So if we just sort of pop that one... I don't want it next to that one. Let's have it over here. And we're going to turn off snapping and just pull that back a bit. And I want that lined up with the side. There we go, very good. And then we could make them look like they're one campus by using this sort of thing here. So let's just dive into our pathways and we'll take our invisible pedestrian path. And then what we can do is we can fill that in. If I just get it in the right place, there we go, all the way back, and that will give us a connection between the two, which is good. And then once we come and put our parks and things like that in, we can make that into a nice area. Excellent. We do have colleges as well. We've got the Central College here, which is pretty substantial building, although, I mean, how much is that going to cost us? 5,500 a month, 380. Could we go for that? I mean, we don't need offices and things just yet, so I think we might just stop with the high school. And do we not have enough capacity already? Oh wow, we don't. Dang. Okay, looks like we need to add another one. We do have the EE High School, which has a nice capacity as well, and that actually is a very cool looking building. If we could maybe get that to fit on the side here, and I might just use some parking to build off of that one, because we don't have any parking in the campus yet. What's the smallest one of these? I mean, perpendicular parking alley, angled parking alley. That's the one I'm looking for. So if we sort of came up into there, like so. Yep, excellent. And then we can add this off the side here. Ooh, it's going to take a little bit of jiggery pokering, isn't it, to get this working right. I actually think those three go together really well. I like that. And then we could always just connect these up here as well. There we go, excellent. And we don't have any districts or zones at the minute, so we'll just leave those going as they are. Hopefully that is taking care of our needs for now. And we're going to add another campus over into this area when we get there. So actually, we can't actually put a zone in. We won't do that then. And we've hit milestone 3, which is fantastic. We do need that because we're losing some money. We've got the Riverside Grill, which is good. I was just looking through some of the options that we've got here. We've got the Rock Musician's Mansion. Under here we've got a Marathon gas station. Now that is something I wanted to add in this area here, coming off the highway and down into here. Let's just see whether that would be too much to snap in there. I think that will fit really well. Look at that, right on the corner. And as you're coming through down the highway, you spot this and you want to pop in and get your fuel top up. Brilliant. We've also got Fleur de Tay and the Riverside Grill. They would be going down the front here, so we're not going to add those in just yet. And we've got a bookshop. That's going to be a little bit too big. And then we're starting to get into the industrial stuff, which we're going to leave for another day. So to help us with our money, let's continue zoning what we can at the moment with the demands that we've got down here. I'm going to leave this little area free. We are going to extend our commercial down that way, but we're going to fill all of these in. There we go, excellent, until the demand finishes. Our houses are upgrading, which is good. We do need a hearse. I'm thinking of adding in... Oh, we're going to run out of water. Okay, let's just slow things down a minute. We could add in this small cemetery in here and sort of make this into a park area as well. Let's have access off this back road like so. Could we fit in some sort of parking in here? Yeah, I think that fits in better. Let's have a look at our water and our power. And maybe it's our power that we're running out of. No, we're doing okay on the power, which is good. Do these have upgrades, by the way? Oh, it's been so long since I've used these. Let's just take a look. Yeah, we do have some upgrades when we get there. What about our water facility? That has no upgrades. Okay, so what options do we have? We have some other water towers, which are going to cost us, oh my goodness me, a lot of money. This one has a bit extra, and it's not too large, actually, and we could add that one. nearby the entrance over here, sort of on the corner, and then see how that goes. Let's connect that one up. And is everything connected through the middle? It is. Let me just sort out this power cable going through here. And when I said power cable, I of course meant sewage pipe. There we go. Excellent. And that is something we're going to sort out as soon as we unlock the water treatment plant and we have enough money. Okay, are you all happy? You're all happy. Fantastic. Now, one of the things you might have seen is we do have denser trees on this road. So I'd like to unlock some nodes. Let's go and spend some development points. So we've got advanced road services. Roundabouts, we're okay with the small roundabouts at the moment. So I'm not going to be too worried about that. And we're going to keep our points. But let's just add some trees onto here. So we're going to take the grass and we're going to run that all the way down one side up to there. Excellent. Then we're going to do our trees as well. So we've got that side, and then the other side always glitches out until you've actually done it, and then it puts them on. Oh, gravity separation unit. Yeah, I don't like all my gravity together. Like to separate it out. And then we can find some nice trees that will go onto here. Not quite sure which one, so we need to put on here this one, so it snaps to the road. What could we go with? I like this tree, but it just the LODs on it, the LODs, just look a bit odd. We could use this one, but just make it a smaller tree, which is still like a... Oh, okay, let's turn that one off. Still looks too big. Yeah, and that's far too small. It's like suddenly jumps up in size, doesn't it? That tree, that is the one that we want. That looks quite good. Let's continue that all the way up to the end, and the other side as well. There we go. Yeah, it overhangs just enough, but not too much. Provides shade for people as well. Doesn't get in the way. That is what we want. Now, the only part where I don't want is right here. So we're actually going to downgrade this road from the denser trees to the normal 4-lane. There we go. Excellent. I hope that hasn't messed anything up. Looks like it should be okay. People are getting the petrol, which is exactly what we wanted to see. Very good. And that's taken the parking away from this road all the way down here. We're also going to do the same for the road that cuts through here, Oak Street. And we're going to do the same here with, what's that? Quail Ridge Street. Couldn't quite see what that was called first of all, but we'll do that. This little connection here hasn't quite worked out, is it? There's something weird going on there. Let's just have a look with node controller and see what it is. Can we square that off? Yeah, that looks a little bit better, doesn't it? We'll go with that. And I might just take the traffic light off there as well. I don't think we just need it at the moment. Right, I was just getting the next section ready for some zoning, and we're struggling with water. So this one here says a water facility overload. This one says it's okay. So let's just take a look. We are producing enough water, which is fine. So what is the problem? I think it's just the fact that this is nearer to all of these houses. This will be helping these houses, but it's like a distance thing. So what we might try and do is see if we can negate that a little bit by connecting up some water pipes in other places down here as well. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to help, but I think even if I zone all of this in, it's not going to quite balance out, isn't it? So maybe it's just time to add another water tower in the middle. That seems like a lot, doesn't it? But yeah, let's add another one maybe down this end. Can we afford this one? This is like the big one. It's going to cost us 70,000. We can actually afford this, and that is what I actually wanted here all along. So maybe let's just replace this one then. There we go. And I believe we can add sunglasses. So where do the sunglasses show? Oh, they're going to show down here. I think we've got to... Yeah, we don't get to those yet. And that'll be really cool if you're coming down here to see those. I like that. So let's see whether that solves the problem. That solves the problem. Excellent. So I'm thinking for this little section over here, we might just go for a different style of house. We've got the low density waterfront housing, which is actually very nice. So we can add all of that into this section to take care of our low density needs. And I think this is just going to fill up completely, and we're still going to have more low density needs. And there it goes. And then we're going to pop a little bit more of this along the front. I'm going to leave Anything where I can't get a 3 wide house in, I'm going to leave it, because we're going to do some other things with that once we get all of our parks and all that sort of stuff sorted out. Yeah, so I'm going to fill that in. We might as well go all the way to the end, and then that will fill in when it has the need. Excellent. And then we do need some shops down here. So we've got this little section here, which is actually going to go a little bit further. Yeah, we get a few in there, and then we could just do with, I'm thinking maybe just this little section here, just add a few more shops in. Yeah, we'll do that. And I do like that street parking. It just adds a little bit of something to it. So we'll just wrap this around here as well. There we go. Nice and pedestrian friendly, but with plenty of parking as well. Everybody's happy. Right, now that is something that we haven't taken care of, our rubbish. So let's just take a look at that. We've had the landfill. I wanted to just basically get the incineration plants and different things like that, just so we don't have to do the landfill. So let's grab... Ooh, we could do the recycling centre. Let's go for the recycling centre. Yeah, there we go. That just seems a little bit nicer to me. Oh my goodness me. 880,000. Wow. Well, we can't afford that at the moment, whereas a landfill is 70,000. Okay, landfill it is, and then we can always work on that a little bit later. We could just have that coming off of a road up here. Okay, we'll go with that for now, and hopefully that will just take care of what we need here. What is going on? Ah, we have a little bit of traffic. Well, let's deal with this then. We're going to turn this into a super node and sort out all the different things. There we go, that's looking much better. And then I might just take the traffic lights here and put a split phasing on. Oh, also, I completely forgot about turning off. Yeah, the U-turns and the unsafe. Let's do that. And then make sure that that is still a split phasing. Yep, that's fine. And I'm not entirely sure whether we completely did this one correctly. Let's just double check. U-turns and unsafe, we haven't got any of those. Whoa, why has it done that? Okay, back to vanilla. If I do that, it works this time. Okay, cool. Cool. Split phasing, excellent. I'm liking that. Got a bit of a dip going down here, so let's try our slope tool. So I might just want to change that. If I add another node in, say there, and then with the move it mod, I'm going to make that the same height as this, and then we're going to slope it from here up to here, and that works quite well. Do we want to ease in and ease out, or is that okay? Yeah, we're going to do that and apply, and that looks much better. What about over here? Is that one okay? There's a little bit of a dip there, isn't there? Which, yeah, let's just maybe sort that out. And then it will go straight up. And I think that'll be all right. And then we can just use our bulldoze tool, get rid of any trees on wood. What about over here? Everything's fine. Excellent. No more traffic. That is what we want to see. And another need that we don't have filled is fire and rescue. So which one of these is going to fit in and work the best? Wow, milestone 4. And interior design studio, express on the go. Oh, I know where that's going to go. Hang on, we're going to come back to the fire station. Let's find espresso on the go, which is in here somewhere. Espresso on the go. That is going to go down here by our... Yeah, we're going to need a little road in there. We're going to pop in a little bit of parking, because I think that will be a good idea, just out the back. And then this can place up against there. Very good, although that's got parking built in. Maybe we won't do that. I think we'll just add a little alley going up the back. And then that up against there, and we'll set it back from the road a bit so we've got a little bit of space. Yeah, that'll be good. Petrol, something to drink and eat. Fantastic. Okay, back to the fire. We're going to take the Japanese firehouse because that fits in absolutely perfectly in there, along with our modern medical clinic, so you can take care of those needs. And we now have parks and recreation, which we didn't have access to before. So everybody wants to have access to parks, and maybe we'll just place a few of those. Okay, so we've got a few parks and trees dotted around the place, but we can work more on that in the next episode. Let us just pop a zone in here, because of course I'm going to need your help for name of our districts, I should say, not zones. So we're going to take in the whole of this area as one big district. There we go, fantastic. I feel like I just need to move this one over a bit. There we go. So Birdsong Glade at the moment, but you can let me know what it will be. And of course we need to add all of our services into this zone. District. I'll get the name right one day. There we go. I think that's everything, isn't it? Yeah, we don't have a police station yet, but we don't have any need for one, so not too worried about that. Now, before we finish, I would like to make sure that we're making money. So what I'm thinking we're going to just do is add some office zones into this little section over here. We don't really have much choice. I'm going to go for the standard low density offices, and I don't think we're going to need too many. These should be facing the main road. If I place a couple of zones of these down, are we going to lose all of this in one go? I think we will. Yep, that's fine, because then the other ones behind here are going to be shops, which is great. As we expand and continue with the city, these along here are going to be a particular style of shop, commercial units that you would look at and see as you were driving along the highway. So we're going to leave that for now. And we do have some high density needs. So we're going to try for these, Netherlands low rent housing. And I want to find a spot that isn't going to be, we've got, actually, this could be quite good. A couple of blocks in there and we've got some parking. So this will provide some cheaper housing, which you might need. And in fact, now that we're looking at this block here, I might just go here and here, and then just see if we can get one large one in there. Yeah, and then just see what they look like. There we go. I think that works quite well as an office complex, and we're in the money and people are still moving in. Absolutely fantastic. Well, with a self-sufficient grand village of almost 3,000 citizens, I think we've made a great start. Next time we can look at either improving our temporary industry or making headway into our mass transit. Let me know in the comments which you would prefer to see. Also, don't forget we do need a new name for our build, so tea-related names, they always go down well on my channel, but I'm open to any and all suggestions, so feel free to go ham. Not ham-related names, go ham in the comments. I think you know what I mean. I usually like to thank all of my patrons, but I particularly want to mention that we passed 2,400 members just last week, which absolutely blows me away. Thank you, all of you that are able to do that. It really is so much appreciated. I'll leave a link below that is open for anybody to read. You don't have to be a patron, but there's also a special offer, 20% off for any new patrons that wish to join. Plus, as a thank you, there's some free videos videos that are linked in that link for anybody to watch. So go ahead and check those out. As always, a huge thank you to my latest 3 patrons, Stefan Reed, Zymeg and Yole Ole. Fantastic name. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for joining me for this first episode of a new series, and I'll see you all soon for some more. Well, you're going to have to decide what it's called. Take care. Bye-bye.